Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I also want to thank the Platform Committee for the opportunity to speak here today. And I particularly appreciate the holistic approach to issues of democracy, that it's not one silver bullet that will solve the problems that ail our democracy, but it takes a comprehensive approach. As part of that comprehensive approach, I encourage you to include a bold, comprehensive proposal to reduce the influence of money in politics and to commit to work to advance that platform in every possible way in the next administration. Americans want people who look like them to be able to run for office and serve in office. People like Tish James, New York City's public advocate and the first African-American woman elected citywide. Or Deb Simpson, a single mom and a waitress who served several terms in Maine's state legislature. Or Steve Gallardo here in Arizona. What they all have in common is they've all have run for office when they had the option to rely solely on small donations and limited public funds, not big money donors or super PACs. Mark Hanna, the Gilded Age political boss, once said, "There are two important things in politics. The first is money, and I can't remember the second." The second, of course, is the people. But even those of us who remember the second part often forget to talk about it when it comes to the issue of money in politics. Too often we make the problem complicated by citing chapter and verse of Supreme Court decisions or regulations from an alphabet soup of agencies. We speak in cataclysmic terms, pointing to avalanches of special interest money or tsunamis of super PAC spending, billionaires buying elections. None of these stories include regular people or hope or progress. The conversation we have in this country about money and politics too often makes everyday people feel that it has nothing to do with them and that the solutions are too distant. That's wrong. Winning solutions have everything to do with the people, and people are beginning to mobilize and organize for change. Our bedrock belief in our democracy as a nation is that we create a government in our image, a government of, by, and for the people, not just the funders of campaigns, all of us. That's the promise of democracy. We strive for a more perfect union, never finished, just more perfect, always marching forward. The good news is that on the issue of money in politics, we know that there are working, concrete policy answers that make our democracy more perfect by encouraging lots of participation. The better news is that these solutions are popular with Americans of all political stripes. They are supported by both Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, as well as a supermajority of Democratic elected officials in the House and Senate. And the entire reform community is unified in support of a comprehensive package of reforms. Every voice in a dozen leading democracy reform organizations drafted a Fight Big Money agenda based on 5 principles. Everyone participates, everyone has a voice, everyone knows who's funding campaigns, everyone plays by common sense rules, and everyone is held accountable for bad behavior. While each piece is important and there are no silver bullets, any reform package that fails to include a small donor policy is one that won't fundamentally alter the way elections are financed. These policies are popular for the same reasons Bernie Sanders' $27 donation applause line was popular. They both place participation by ordinary people at the core. They say everyone matters in politics, and when small donor policies are put to the test, they win by wide margins. Last November, 55% of voters in Maine and 63% of voters in Seattle said yes to small donor programs. Now, passing this nationally, some will say, is a pipe dream, but we say it's already or soon to be the law of the land in a growing number of cities, counties, and states, including here in Arizona. It should be included as a component of a comprehensive policy as part of the Democratic National Committee's platform. And as part of that platform, the party should adopt and make explicit that the time for talk on this issue is over. We urge that the platform include a call to action on this issue through executive orders, appointments, engaging Americans, introducing legislation in the first early days of the new administration, and working on this issue in other ways, large and small. Thank you for the opportunity to present today.